Hello and welcome to the Slingshot channel. Today we want to talk about self-defense in Germany. My video about German gun laws was very popular and hotly debated, more than 10,000 comments so far. But a lot of people said, what about self-defense? You didn't talk about self-defense. Well, I'm not a lawyer and I cannot really give you any expert's advice. I consider myself well informed, but I'll give it a shot. But assume that everything I say it may be wrong and may be completely exaggerated. First of all, if we look at the German self-defense law, I have to say that this is probably the most fierce, ferocious, brutal and non-compromising self-defense law in the entire world. Because in Germany, you can use self-defense against anything that attacks you or stuff that belong to you, or even your honor. So even if someone is just attacking your honor, you can do whatever it takes to stop him doing that. And this means you can take anything that you have that is appropriate to stop that unlawful attempt to do things to you. It means that of course you have to pick the mildest thing available to you. So if you are a big guy and someone attacks you who is a lot weaker, you can probably just do that by your hands, just by normal fighting. But if you're not, if that is a bigger attacker, and you only have a knife, you can use that knife. It is legal. You can do it. The best is, not only can you do this to defend your own life, body, freedom, honor, or possessions, but you can also do all that if you see that it's happening to someone else. Doesn't have to be family, can just be another person on the street that you see who gets attacked. You can do the same things. You can step in and fight. Also, you do not have to run away. Even if you can, even if it would be totally simple to just walk out of the bar and escape from the confrontation. Not necessary. You can stand your ground and again, do what it takes to stop the unlawful attack. And also, you're not limited to legal weapons, to things that you can legally carry. If you are in a desperate situation, then you can use anything that you have that is suitable to stop the attacker. But of course it has to be the least effective one. So if you have choices like you have a knife and a gun and the attacker doesn't have a gun, then you probably be best advised to not use the gun immediately. So if you go out to a Russian flea market and buy a full auto Kalashnikov, fully loaded of course, and walk home with it, and on your way back to your home somebody attacks you, and the Kalashnikov is the only thing you have that you can use to defend yourself, well then the Kalashnikov it is. You won't be prosecuted for using it. Of course you will face charges for illegal possession and it will be taken from you, but that doesn't mean that you were not entitled to use it for self-defense. Actually, the German word Notwehr and also Nothilfe and Notstand, this is something that doesn't directly translate to self-defense, because self-defense is only a part of it. Keep in mind, you can not only defend yourself, you can also defend others, and you can defend your property, you can defend your freedom, even your honor. So it's more like, a better translation would be necessity defense. But that of course sounds very strange. So from here on we're still going to use the word self-defense, but of course in the German, brutal, extended way. Okay, now that we established what self-defense means in Germany, let's look at the options that you have. And I think we have to break this apart, because legally there's a huge difference if you defend yourself or the stuff that belong to you out on the street, or if it happens in your home. Because legally that's a different scenario. Also, let's forget about the illegal weapons for now, since we all consider us law-abiding citizens. I won't be talking about illegal stuff, except explaining you what is illegal. So let's look only at the legal options. Let us start with defending yourself in your own home. In your own home you have a great choice of legal weapons, even the unregulated things. So at home you can have like this little vampire bat, Lucille here. You can have it right next to your bedstand and defend yourself if it's proper, if that is the proper means against an attacker. Now can you use Lucille to hammer away at a teenager who just wants to steal your potato chip because he's high? Probably not. You know, if you do that, then that could be a problem. And also, I have to say that you can only defend yourself as long as the attack is still ongoing. This means someone breaks into your house, but he sees you and runs away and he hasn't stolen anything. Then that self-defense situation is over. Because that attack is over, it's gone. No need to stop it anymore. It has stopped itself. So only as long as it's ongoing, you can use a thing like this to defend yourself. Now, of course, if that is a masked and armed attacker, you may well be entitled to use little Lucille here to defend yourself. If that is like the most harmless device that is available to you at that time to stop the attacker, you can do it. You can also use things like this hatchet here, because that may be lying around in your kitchen or under your pillow. Nobody cares. It's just something that you can use for home defense. Let's talk about self-defense with guns in your own home. Guns, of course, is always the last resort, and because they are so deadly, the law wants you to be extra careful when using guns for self-defense. There are a lot of people in Germany that legally own firearms, but usually they have to be under lock and key and separated from the ammunition. This means that you won't have a lot of time. If you hear someone is breaking into your home, you know, you would have to open 2 independent safes and get out the gun and get out the ammo, load the gun and then do something with it. It's quite, you know, unrealistic that you can really do it. But of course, if the situation allows it, yeah, that's perfectly okay. You can do it. So if you are in the 3rd floor and you hear someone breaking into the basement, you might have enough time to do that. And of course, that's okay. So if you have a gun like this shortened 12 caliber Maverick bolt action gun, you can use that. It's absolutely okay. This one is on my license. It's usually in my safe. But if I can take it out quick enough and load a few rounds into the mag, I can use it. It's okay. Okay, now let's talk about self-defense outside of your home. Well, then the legal limits are of course more severe. And now we start with firearms because they can be explained rather quickly. Yes, self-defense is a legal purpose and you can actually apply for a license just because you think you need to defend yourself. But the law says that you have to be in more danger than the average person on the street. And this means that the authorities in reality really never issue a license like that, except maybe if you work for a security company or something like that. Even if you are a VIP or a very, very famous person, so you're under threat, you know, to be kidnapped, then still they will argue that you have enough money to pay for security, and therefore they probably won't issue the license to you. So forget about guns for a moment. Although, in theory, the law says that you can get a concealed carry permit for a firearm if you are under more threat than the average person. Now, out on the streets, of course, there are additional limitations. This means that you cannot take knives with you that are longer than 12 centimeters and are fixed. So this hatchet here would be a no-no, can't take it. But you can take a knife like this one. This is a folder. Folders are okay to carry as long as they are not both one-handers and automatically lock while opened. And this one from Böker, it's the grip lock, actually doesn't do that. You can open it and close it very quickly, like this. And it doesn't lock, as you see. But as soon as you grip it, it automatically locks in place and becomes a fixed knife by all means. This is legal to carry and also legal to defend yourself should you be in a situation where this is proper. You can also use tear gas, and tear gas actually comes in all different sizes, and also there are 2 variations. There is the pepper spray, which in Germany is only legal against animals. So if someone asks you why are you carrying this, well, to defend yourself from stray dogs or whatever, right? You can't say that you intend to use this against human beings. Although, if you are in a desperate situation, again, even if it's not meant against humans, if this is the only thing you have, you can use it against humans too, and you won't be punished. Tear gas also comes in versions like cartridges for blank firing guns, like this here. It's a imitation of a 1911, as you see. And this can fire blanks, but also tear gas that will spray out of the otherwise blocked barrel. This one, if you want to carry it, you need a carry permit, but it's a small carry permit, not the hard one for true firearms. And everybody can get it as long as you have a clean record. You don't have to state any reason. They will issue that carry permit to you in no time. But again, it's dangerous because if you use it against someone who has a real gun, well, he will shoot you and not think twice about it. Alright, next on the list is this taser gun. It's actually more like a stun gun. And in Germany, it's only legal to carry if it fulfills certain criteria. First of all, it is limited at about 500,000 volts, whatever that means. And also, you can only stun someone for 4 seconds, and then it is inoperable for another 4 seconds. So you can't go on and tasing someone forever. And of course, it's quite impressive. It throws a nice... See, now it stopped after 4 seconds. And now I can't use it for another 4 seconds. So is this effective? Well, you can argue about this. Yes, it's painful, and yes, it somehow has an effect on your muscle, but it's too weak to really, fry somebody so that he can't fight anymore. Like, let's see if this is now working. If I tase myself, yes, it is not pleasant, but as you see, I can perfectly talk to you guys. So, especially if I have a little bit of aluminum foil under my t-shirt. That, by the way, gives you perfect protection against any type of stun gun. So if you want to be safe from stun guns, even those that have little hooks that shoot into you, use a little aluminum foil. It works against aliens, but it also works against stun guns. Okay, now there is a different type of stun gun, this one here, and this isn't meant against human beings. This is actually something that is used in farming. So actually it's used for bulls and oxen and the big beasts. If you want to lead them somewhere, electroshock is a good idea. Now this is much less spectacular than the self-defense one because it is silent. So if you press on this key here, you see it's just emits this beeping tone so that you know that it's actually working. But this gives you a serious kick. And there's no 4-second limitation on this one either. And I think there's also no voltage limitation. But it's meant against animals. Of course, you can use it against human beings if the situation would say this is proper for self-defense. And therefore, of course, this is a much better self-defense device than the useless stun gun that is legal to carry. You have flashlights, of course, flashlights like this one here. And of course, if you light it into the eye of someone, this could be unpleasant. Of course, if you have a device like this great TrueNight TN40, that's a different issue, because this is so bright that really nobody can see something. If you can really blind people with this, at least for some time. Of course, it's rather bulky, but that also is an advantage because you can use it to hit someone. So you can blind him first and then hit him if he shouldn't stop attacking you. Remember, if he has stopped attacking you, then self-defense situation is over and you can't hit him anymore. Now, of course, let's say that someone gave you a permit for a gun, or let's say you have an illegal gun and so someone attacks you. And then if the situation allows it, you must be very careful. So first, you are expected to warn the attacker, like, I have a gun, right? Go away. If it doesn't work, then you're expected to do a warning shot, like, and if he still doesn't stop attacking you, then you're expected to shoot him in the leg or in the arm or in another non-lethal position. And if he still doesn't stop, then of course, if really it's a desperate situation, you can kill that person. But of course, in a lot of situations that is not feasible. So if you are using your gun against attackers that are already firing at you and you are taking cover, then I think you could get away by just doing this. But all in all, you should not forget one thing. If you injure someone, if you really hurt somebody or even kill another person, even if that was an attacker, then the prosecution will investigate. They will have to look into what happened and press charges against you if that was not justified. So of course it could be very wise to run away from a dispute rather than fight yourself through it. And also because if you decide to fight, remember, you can always lose. And that will be unpleasant. Let's talk about illegal weapons now. Things that are totally no-nos, things that you cannot own, not even with a license, banned and completely out of the question. Of course, I can only show you pictures because they're illegal and I play by the rules. So I don't have any of these, and even though some of them I really want. In any case, I don't want to steal someone else's pictures. So I sat down and, yes, believe it or not, and painted some for you. And now I'd like to go over these with you. So first of all, we have poaching guns. Poaching guns are guns that you can take apart into very small parts. Those are illegal, and I think they have been illegal for a long, long time in Germany, simply to repel poachers. And then there are pen guns and Zippo guns and all these things that are guns or are knives or things like that, but are disguised as someone else. So the typical espionage stuff that you would expect from a James Bond movie. Those are illegal and banned in Germany. A weapon has to look like the weapon and not like something else. Then we have some types of knives that are illegal and banned. We have the butterfly knife, the balisons. It broke my heart when I had to throw away my beautiful Benchmade balison when that law came into effect, but they are illegal. Fist knives, except if you are in the leather profession, then you can use it still, but for general public, a fist knife is a banned object. Then you have most auto knives that are illegal. So out the fronts are always illegal. Even side openers are illegal as long as the blade exceeds 8.5 centimeters in length. Then also we have various other types that are illegal. For example, knuckle dusters, blackjacks. Those would be short clubs with a spring and a fat steel ball at the end. Those are illegal. Slingshots with arm brace. Actually, the arm brace itself is also illegal. Even a slingshot that only has mounting holes for an arm brace is illegal. Throwing stars, you know, your typical ninja stars or shuriken, that's illegal. Taser guns. This means a taser that actually shoots the contacts as little fish hooks. That's an illegal device now. Pistol grip pump guns. So a pump gun is perfectly legal, but as soon as you shorten the grip so it's only a pistol grip, it becomes illegal. Then Molotov cocktails or flamethrowers, anything that can quickly set things aflame. Those are illegal in Germany. And of course, everything that is military. So military grade weapons, no matter what it is, a big machine gun or a tank or a hand grenade or anything like that, that is illegal and banned for civilians. Alright, that is the end of our little explanation video. I hope I was clear enough, and again, I'm not a lawyer, so you know, this is not any recommendation or anything official or so on. It's just my view of things, and I may be totally wrong in my understanding of the law. But still, I hope you like it, because that's it for today. Thanks and bye-bye.